There are enough incredible attractions the world over to fill every traveler's wish list and then some. But there are also those whose plans never saw the light of day. From space-age hotels to soaring skyscrapers, we reveal the amazing tourist attractions that were never built. The imposing palace of the Soviets, whose construction began in the late 1930s, was to serve as an administrative center, and ultimately as a show of Soviet power. It was designed by architect Boris Iofan and planned for the site of the original Cathedral of Christ the Savior, which had been razed to the ground in 1931 on the orders of Soviet leader Joseph Stalin. The ostentatious building, crowned with a looming statue of Stalin's predecessor Lenin, would have been one of the largest structures in the world at the time. However, the German invasion of Soviet Russia in 1941 thwarted these lofty plans. Instead, the palace's foundations were turned into the Moskva pool, a mammoth outdoor swimming pool which was, for a time, the largest in the world. The Soviet Union was eventually dissolved in the early 1990s, and by 1995, construction of the new Cathedral of Christ the Savior had begun. The golden-domed holy building, pictured, still stands on the site. Plans for the park were widely criticized, though, with concerns raised as to how Disney would deal with sensitive areas of American history such as slavery. Local opposition coupled with rising costs meant the park was never built. Later on in the decade, plans were rekindled again, as Disney intended to buy and remodel California's Knott's Berry Farm. However, Knott's Berry refused to sell to Disney and plans fell through once more. Port Disney, planned for Long Beach in California, was another failed Disney endeavor. The concept, which was introduced in 1990, would have sprawled across 443 acres and included a cruise port and theme park named DisneySea, plus shops, resort hotels and entertainment. However, the project was met with disapproval from locals who were concerned about the site's environmental impact and heavy traffic. The project was soon forgotten in favor of Westcott, Anaheim's answer to Florida's Epcot. However, this venture was also canceled due to financial limitations. Some elements of the fated Port Disney live on in Tokyo's DisneySea theme park, pictured, including the site's mysterious island with its imposing volcano as a backdrop. Walt Disney's grand plans in the 1960s also included a ski resort in California. Before his death in 1966, Disney was intent on creating a winter sports paradise at the Mineral King Valley in Sequoia National Park. The complex would have included a sprawling hotel, a cozy cinema, shops and ice rinks. However, questions were raised over the resort's profitability and it was widely condemned by conservationists too. Again, Disney's vision wasn't to be. The idea for a bridge here first arose in the 1750s, when merchant William Vick left money towards the structure in his will. Architect William Bridges put forward a design, pictured, made up of a mighty stone arch, supported each side by towers of homes and factories. However, when the French Revolution kicked off, Bridges' plans were put on hold and eventually abandoned due to their steep costs. A competition was held to determine the final look of the bridge and Brunel's more pared-back design won, though Pope enjoyed later success with his plans for DC's Jefferson Memorial and the National Gallery. His designs for the Lincoln Memorial were rejected in favor of those by Henry Bacon, pictured. Now millions normally come to admire Bacon's creation each year and to view the imposing statue of President Lincoln seated within. The hulking Battersea Power Station watches over the River Thames and is looked upon fondly by many Londoners. It had ceased operations entirely by the 1980s and plenty of plans for its redevelopment have been floated over the years. The wackiest of all was a brash theme park envisioned by Alton Towers' John Broome in the late 1980s. Had the project gone ahead, it would have included a mall, an ice rink and Vegas-style indoor roller coasters, all surrounded by manicured gardens. However, funding was halted and the family-friendly attraction was never to be. This tower-studded bridge was designed in the 19th century to honor President and Civil War General Ulysses S. Grant. Spanning the Potomac River, the bridge, designed by Paul J. Pelz, would have stretched out for more than 4,000 feet, 1,219 meters, connecting Arlington with Washington, D.C. However, funding for this bridge was blocked and, instead, the simpler Arlington Memorial Bridge was completed at the site in 1932. A memorial to General Ulysses S. Grant, pictured, now stands at the foot of Washington, D.C.'s Capitol Hill. The futuristic hotel would have risen to between 980 and 1,100 feet, 299 to 335 meters, with curving towers and an opulent interior containing multiple restaurants, exhibition space, a theater and plush guest rooms. For reasons unknown, Gada's plans were never realized. However, the designs resurfaced in the early 2000s when they were submitted as a potential new design for the World Trade Center, after the tragic events of 9/11. Again, though, Gada's visions were passed over and all that remains are a handful of sketches.